Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the First Things Productivity Show. This is your host, Dr. Brandon Vaughn, that tie-dye guy, and this is episode 155. Now, I'm starting to do a video recording of the podcast for YouTube. So if you're watching on YouTube and you're wondering where are all the other episodes from 154, I just have audio for those previous podcast episodes. Now, if you've been with us through our journey of uncovering the secrets to a better life through better sleep, then you know that we've been diving deep into Shawn Stevenson's transformative book, Sleep Smarter. We've explored everything from the value of sleep to the effects of caffeine. We've even looked at the effects of our devices and our phones and screens have on our nightly rest. Now today, we're turning down the thermostat and delving into one of the coolest topics yet. Literally. We are talking about the critical role that body temperature plays in getting a rejuvenating night's sleep. Have you ever tossed and turned on a hot summer night or found deep, restful sleep under the cool embrace of a crisp autumn evening? Well, there's science behind why temperature is so pivotal to our sleep, and we're about to chill out and break it all down. So whether you're listening from the comfort of your home or on the go, get ready to cool off and learn how to optimize your sleep environment for the best rest possible. Let's dive in. Welcome to First Things with Dr. Brandon Vaughn, that tie-dye guy, where we redefine success through focus and freedom. Each episode, we dive into strategies to organize your time and amplify your life. Ready to break free and focus on what truly matters? Let's get started. All right, folks, let's start with the basics. Our body operates on a 24-hour cycle known as the circadian rhythm. Now, this rhythm influences everything from when we feel awake to when we feel sleepy, and interestingly enough, it also governs our core body temperature. Now, as Shawn Stevenson points out in the book Sleep Smarter, our body temperature naturally dips in the evening as we approach bedtime, signaling that it's time to wind down and to prepare for sleep. Now, why does this happen? Well, during the day, our bodies are in go mode. We're going. We're active, we're thinking, we're working. Our internal machinery is all fired up and running. Now, as we transition towards night, our bodies began to cool down, initiating a slowdown in metabolic process and preparing us for rest. Now, this decrease in temperature helps facilitate the release of melatonin, the hormone that cues our body that it's time for sleep. But here's where it gets really cool. No pun intended. Well, maybe some pun. Research shows that the ideal temperature for sleep is, any guesses? It's around 60 to 67 degrees Fahrenheit, or about 15 to 19 degrees Celsius. When our sleeping environment is within this range, our bodies can maintain that lower core temperature more effectively, promoting deeper, uninterrupted sleep. Now, this doesn't just mean that we're more comfortable, it also means that our sleep is more restorative, allowing for better healing and rejuvenation. So, why does being too hot throw a wrench in the works? Well, when we overheat, our bodies struggle to reach that optimal lower core temperature. We might toss, we might turn, we might wake up feeling sweaty and uncomfortable, and this disruption not only affects how quickly we fall asleep, but also the quality of our sleep throughout the night. We miss out on the crucial stages of the sleep cycle, particularly the deep restorative stages where the body and the brain do most of their healing. In essence, keeping cool isn't just about comfort, it's about harnessing our body's natural rhythms to enhance the quality of our sleep. By aligning our sleep environment with our internal thermostat, we set the stage for a night of deep, restful sleep that leaves us feeling refreshed, leaves us feeling ready to tackle the day. So, we've dipped our toes into the cool waters of understanding how our body temperature interacts with sleep. Now, let's turn up the heat and discuss what happens when we're too warm and how it impacts our slumber. Now, as we've learned, our bodies need to cool down to signal sleep readiness. But what happens when we're too hot? Imagine those sweltering summer nights or a room that feels more like a sauna than a sanctuary. It's not just about discomfort. Overheating at night can lead to fragmented, shallow sleep. So instead of diving into those deep restorative stages of sleep, we're skimming the surface. We're waking frequently. We're missing out on the profound benefits of a good night's rest. Shawn Stevenson points out that overheating doesn't just mean a bad night's sleep. It can lead to a cascade of negative health effects. Poor sleep has been linked to a myriad of issues like impaired cognitive function or increased stress and anxiety, even a weakened immune system. Over time, consistent poor sleep can contribute to more serious conditions like obesity, heart disease, and diabetes. But why does overheating have such a profound effect? Well, when we're too warm, our bodies are fighting an uphill battle to reduce our core temperature. This effort keeps us in a state of mild alertness. It prevents us from reaching those deeper, more healing phases of sleep. For example, our hearts work harder, our breathing remains more rapid, and our brains stay partially engaged, ready to throw off the covers or flip the pillow to the cool side. So, what can we do to avoid this heated dilemma? Well, we're going to get into that next and ensure that our bedrooms are places of blissful sleep. So, thus far, we've talked about the importance of a cool environment for optimal rest. We've talked about the effect of heat and why it stimulates our bodies, our hearts, our breathing, our minds to where we don't enter into full rest. Now let's talk about how we actually achieve it. Shawn Stevenson provides several insightful tips in Sleep Smarter that we can easily incorporate into our nightly routine. So let's explore some of those together right now. First, very obvious, consider the temperature in your room. This means that you need to find the ideal range, which scientifically has been shown to be 60 to 67 degrees Fahrenheit, or about 15 to 19 degrees Celsius. Now, for some of you, you might need slightly warmer, and some of you might need slightly colder. If you find yourself basically freezing to death at, say, 67, then you might try 70, but you need to keep it low, lower than you would think. This might mean adjusting your thermostat, might mean cracking open a window if the weather permits. It's all about creating an environment that supports your body's natural cooling process. There are devices that can help with this. I'll talk about that in just a minute. In fact, we'll talk about it now. Let's talk about bedding. You need to opt for breathable materials like cotton, bamboo, or linen. Now, these fabrics are going to allow for better air circulation and can also help wick away any moisture if you do get a bit warm. Don't forget your sleepwear. You need to have loose, light pajamas or even go all natural or very little clothing can make a really big difference in your thermal comfort. I find I can't really wear pajamas. I don't go fully all natural, but I can't really deal with pajamas because they get all tangled up. So I try to wear as least amount as I can, and it also keeps me cool. Now, have you ever considered a warm bath or shower before bed? This might sound counterintuitive, but it's actually a fantastic way to cool down. When you step out of the warm water, your body temperature drops rapidly, mimicking the natural evening cool down and signals to your body, hey, it's time to sleep. Also mentioned there's devices out there. There's a device called 8 Sleep. There is also a device called Chili Pad, or I believe maybe they're now called Uther. Is it Uther? I always forget what they're called now. I'll put a picture up in this. But these are basically like mini water beds, and there's a refrigeration unit that can chill water and send it through membranes of a mattress pad that you sleep on. You don't really feel it, and it attempts to cool you down. I have been using the Chili Pad for quite some time. I haven't tried the 8 Sleep yet. If anybody from 8 Sleep is looking, feel free to send me a unit. I'd be glad to spread the word everywhere. But the Chili Pad has been really good. It struggles sometimes to maybe make it as cold as I would like it, but it still helps a lot. And I can always tell when I'm away from it how I don't sleep as good because it does lower the temperature that I'm sleeping on by a fair amount. So look into those as well. Now, diet and hydration can also play some roles in regulating your body temperature. So you want to avoid heavy, rich meals close to bedtime as digestion generates heat. And you want to stay hydrated throughout the day, but taper off before bed to avoid those middle of the night bathroom trips we all hate. Be waking up at 2 or 3 a.m. to have to go to the bathroom. But for those extra hot nights, or if you are prone to overheating, then you might consider investing in a cooling gel pillow, even a bed fan. I have a humongous fan as well as my chili pad. And I also turn down my heat to around 70. And with the chili pad, I don't necessarily have to pull my heat down into the 60s before I did, but it helps me do all of those types of things. Now, these products are designed specifically to keep your sleeping environment at a comfortable temperature. Now, lastly, remember that your daily habits influence your nighttime temperature. So regular exercise, particularly in the morning or afternoon, can help regulate your internal thermostat and improve your sleep. Just be sure to avoid vigorous workouts close to bedtime as they can raise your core temperature, make it harder for you to wind down. So if you implement these strategies, you're not just setting the stage for a cooler night, but you're also investing in deeper, more restorative sleep. So tonight, try giving some of these tips a try and transform your bedroom into a haven of cool, comforting slumber. By the way, you also want to keep your room really dark. You want to avoid all lights. This is why we suggested removing your TV and your devices out of your room. In a weird way, you want your room pitch black and you want it really cold. It's almost like you're dead. I hate to be so morbid, but the closer you can get to a condition where you aren't alive, it's dark, it's cold, you're going to find that you rest better and you don't struggle nearly as much. Now, so far we've explored the science behind why cooler temperatures can lead to better sleep, and we've discussed various strategies to keep our bodies and bedrooms cool. Now it's time to hear from you. So in this segment, I want to dive into some personal stories and listener experiences dealing with sleep and body temperatures. Now, these anecdotes not only bring our topic to life, but they also will help illustrate the diverse ways that people have navigated their journey to cooler, more restful nights. It isn't always so simple. I've said this before. What works for you doesn't always work for me and vice versa. You've got to experiment and see what works for you. So first, let me share a personal story. So a few years ago, during one particular hot summer, and we have some really hot summers in Texas, I found myself waking up throughout the night. I felt groggy and unrefreshed in the mornings, and it wasn't until I invested in lighter bedding, a chili pad, made a conscious effort to lower the room temperature, made it cost a little bit more, had a little bit more of an electricity bill, but I noticed a significant change. Suddenly, I was sleeping through the night, I was waking up feeling rejuvenated, and it was a simple change, but it made a world of difference. Now, we've also received some stories such as from Sarah in Colorado, who writes, I never realized how much my warm, cozy bedroom was actually disrupting my sleep. So after listening to a previous podcast of yours on sleep environments, I decided to experiment with lowering the thermostat and switching to lighter pajamas. To my surprise, I started falling asleep faster and feeling more alert the next day. It's been a game changer for my sleep and overall well-being. And here's another one from Mark in Florida. So living in a warm climate, I always thought that restless nights were just something I just had to deal with. But after learning about the impact of body temperature on sleep, I started using a bed fan and blackout curtains to keep my room cool and dark. The difference in my sleep quality was night and day. I'm grateful for the tips and the newfound energy I have each morning. Now, these stories reflect the powerful impact that managing body temperature can have on sleep, whether it's adjusting your thermostat, changing your bedding, finding innovative solutions like bed fans or 8 sleep or chili pads or Oolers. The key is finding what works for you and your unique circumstances. Now, do you have a cool sleep story to share? I would love to hear it. You can reach out to me at firstThingsProductivity.com. If you're watching on YouTube, you can just simply leave a comment below, or you can email me. I would love it if you left me a comment or sent me your experience. Your experience might just be the insight that someone else needs to transform their own sleep. So, as we wrap up today's episode, let's focus on implementing change. Now, we've armed ourselves with knowledge about the importance of a cooler sleep environment. We've also shared some strategies and personal stories about making that a reality. Now it's time to put that knowledge into action. As always, the secret is start small. Maybe tonight you lower the thermostat a couple degrees, or you switch to a lighter set of sheets. Perhaps you try a relaxing warm bath before bed, or you make a pact to shut off your electronics an hour earlier. The key is to make one change at a time, observe how it affects your sleep. Remember that improving your sleep environment isn't a one-size-fits-all solution. I wish it was. But it's about experimenting and discovering what works best for you. And don't be discouraged if you don't see immediate results. Also, don't expect results after just one night. You need to probably try some of these things for a week, maybe 2 weeks before you really know if it's worked or not. Like any good habit, creating the perfect sleep environment is going to take some time. It's going to take some patience. And as you make these changes, I encourage you to keep a sleep diary, keep a journal, note the adjustments you've made, how you feel in the morning, any changes in your sleep patterns. This record will not only help you keep track of your progress, but it's also going to help you pinpoint what's working and what's not. So as we draw this episode to a close, let's take a moment to reflect on what we've learned today. So we've ventured into the cool, soothing realm of optimal sleep temperatures and discovered just how impactful a few degrees can be to our overall sleep quality. We've heard from experts like Shawn Stevenson, from listeners like you who has shared their own personal journeys and successes in finding that perfect sleep environment. Remember again, though, the goal isn't just about getting more sleep. It's about getting better sleep. Sometimes better sleep is just a matter of being cool in more ways than one. Maybe it's adjusting your room temperature, changing your bedtime habits, simply being more mindful of your sleep environment. Each small change can make a lead to significant improvements in your sleep and by extension, your health, mood, and your productivity. Now, I want to leave you with a call to action. Tonight, today, this day, tonight, I challenge you to implement just one of the strategies that we discussed today. Lower your thermostat. Try some new breathable sheets. Wear less clothing. Do a warm bath. Go out and get a chili pad or an 8 sleep. Get a big fan, whatever it is. Make a commitment to yourself to try something new and observe the difference it makes. Try it for at least 2 weeks. See if it makes a difference. If it doesn't, discard it. And don't keep these changes to yourself. Share these experiences with other people. Share it with me. Share it with us. Connect with us through our social media, through email, me at firstThingsProductivity.com, through the comments on YouTube. That tie-dye guy, I'm on YouTube. And you'll find a community of other people. Your insights can be very helpful for other people, as we said earlier. So as we say goodbye for now, I want to thank you for joining me on this journey through the night. We'll talk about some more topics in the next few weeks, but it's been a pleasure to explore this fascinating world of sleep with you, and I hope you'll join me again for the next episode of First Things Productivity, where we'll go into the next chapter of Shawn Stevenson's book. Remember that your journey to better sleep, better living, doesn't have to be a solitary one. I'm here to support and inspire you. We can learn from each other. I learn from you. I really do. I love hearing people's experiences. So until next time, keep cool, sleep well, embrace each new day with the energy and enthusiasm that it deserves. Good night, everyone, and here's to your journey of sleeping smarter and living better. This is Dr. Brandon Vaughn, that tie-dye guy, signing off. So stay cool, stay rested, and stay tuned for more insights on how to live your best life one night at a time. See you next time.
Thanks for joining First Things. Ready to elevate your focus and freedom? Hit like, click subscribe, and ring the bell for the latest insights. Share this with someone who needs a productivity lift, and let's journey together towards a life of significance. Questions or thoughts? Drop them in the comments below.
Remember, true productivity isn't about doing more, it's about doing what matters most. Keep prioritizing what counts, and I'll see you in the next video. Dr. Brandon Vaughn, that tie-dye guy, signing off. See you next time.